Welcome, guys. So, Adesumba Adeoye is a multi-passionate entrepreneur. She is the CEO and Chief Director at ESOP Events and founder of ESOP Heroes. Sumba is a mentor to many and a recipient of numerous awards for her dedication and also contribution towards progressive initiatives and humanity in Nigeria. Recently, she authored and published a self-guide book titled Parenting a Creative Child, and she'll be shedding more light on that on parenting here today. We have with us Adesumba. Hello, Adesumba. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you, Mazino. Good morning.
Fantastic. Good to have you on the show today.
It seems good
All
to
right,
be here with you.
Let's start by, first of all, identifying who a gifted child is.
Okay. A gifted child can also be called a creative child. These are, every child, I believe, is created with a gifting. I believe every child that is created by God is given talents embedded in them. So a gifted child is that child that is innovative, artistic, a child that thinks outside of the box, a child that is creative, a child that is original. And I feel that every child created by God has this in them.
Okay. Is this any different from a regular child, for instance?
What you call a regular child is what you make of your child. Parenting is an activity that gives you the privilege to be able to nurture a child, to bring a child up. You have to be there for them physically, socially, intellectually. You guide them. So when a child turns out to be regular, it simply means the child has been nurtured to be regular. You
Oh.
see, every child has the capacity to be a genius. There is a juice of genius in them that the world, the earth, and its citizens need. And until you nurture that child in that way, you may not be able to get the desired results. I see a lot of parents who they don't know how to go about parenting. But my book, Parenting a Creative Child, helps you. It's like a self-help guide that helps you parent them purposefully. It uncovers the principles to discover the genius in them. It uncovers the principle that you can use to develop this genius in them, and of course, make it valuable so that the world can benefit from it.
Okay, so let's talk about this book. And I heard you say a few things there. First off, it would seem that you say the responsibility to help a child nurture this creativity in children lies with the parents, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Now, how
Yes.
can parents then identify these little creative aspects or talents in their kids? What do they look out for? Does your book tell about that?
Yes, it does. There's a part where I titled one of the chapters that says that you should believe, pray, and walk. Another chapter says experiment to discover. There's this saying that says that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. But for a child, an idle mind is not necessarily the devil's workshop. And for that child, that time is to innovate. They think, they are imaginative. And it is that idle time they use to experiment. As a parent, I know that when the house is quiet, suddenly you are sure that your children they're up to something.
Yeah,
And
tell me
most
about it.
parents are usually scared. But
Yeah.
I don't want them to scared. I want them to just be patient enough to discover what takes the attention of their children. You see, some children take tools and they start uncovering it. Some parent may look at that child and say the child is destructive, but the book helps you to look at the creative side of the child. Parenting the Creative Child has so many chapters in it that would help parents who have such children, would help them. I also want to recommend that you learn to listen to your child.
Yeah.
Because God gave you to them as gifts. And so you are saddled, like I said, with the responsibility to train this child from infancy to adulthood. So at the beginning of their life, they can't make major decisions,
Okay.
by themselves. So it is the parents that makes these decisions for them. So you must listen to them. The fact that they are children doesn't mean that their visions, their dreams and desires are not valid. So listen to them. Even if you feel that, oh, this child is not reading the book. In Africa, we've been programmed to only read a book,
Yeah.
pass exams, go to university and all of it. But there's so much in a child that can do
You
far
see,
more. Now,
Adesumbo,
I'm not saying that. Yes, please.
I was going to ask you, before you go too far on that
Go
one,
ahead.
now you said something, you talked about books. I have a method,
Yes,
and I believe that play is a very important part of a child's upbringing, a child's
it is
nurturing a
so
child, and also
important.
the talents.
Yes.
What's the role of play in bringing up a child?
Wow, the role of play is very, very vital. It develops their creative juice, it develops their social juice, it develops so much in them. When children play, they play with colorful things, they play with tools. In fact, from the age of 3 months, you start having babies trying to grab their hands on colorful things. You find parents buy rattles for their babies, colorful toys. And I just feel that is when development starts. They start to hold on to something, they start to grip something. And when they grow into toddlerhood, they start to use what they have learned over time to build. You start seeing
Okay,
them building blocks and
all right.
all of that. And
Uh,
when they now grow again, you see them want to try to create something out of play. And I feel every parent should allow playtime because that is
yes,
where their
yes,
creative juice and social
yeah.
juice develop.
Real quick, Adesumba, if you don't mind,
Yes, please.
I've noticed that kids nowadays are much more expressive than they used to be back in the day. Real
Oh,
quick, can you
yes.
tell us what might be responsible for that in present times? Real quick, because we're almost out of time.
Okay, I feel that most kids in these days are more expressive because the generation of myself and a whole lot of other parents out there, are starting to allow their parents express themselves. And then in schools, they are taught to express themselves.
Ah,
Back in the days, we were not given that much privilege. Our parents allowed us to talk, but then we have to speak morally. You have to be disciplined to an
yeah.
extent. But these days, kids are free. They are free to express themselves. They are free to even say the dumbest things. That is why, as a parent, we must understand our role to help them nurture that assertiveness in the right way
Well,
so
thank you.
that they don't stumble. Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much,
much.
Mazino.
Thank you very much,
You're
Adesumba. I
welcome.
wish we could go on. There's plenty I can tell that you want to tell, especially about this book. But I'm sure that we're going to have you back again on the show to talk more about this. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having you back on the show.
It is
Viewers
my
out there,
delight. It is
do
my
stay tuned. We
delight.
got more coming your way. I'm looking forward to that beautiful cake over there.